Welcome again to the AM show. Let's start with the news details now. The Office of the Special Prosecutor is alleging sponsored attacks on the work of the OSP. The work of the OSP has come under some levels of criticism from anti-corruption campaigners, civil society organizations, and the general public for failing to successfully prosecute a single corruption-related case since the establishment of the office 6 years ago. Speaking at the 14th Commonwealth Regional Conference of Heads of Anti-Corruption Agencies currently ongoing in Accra, Director of Strategy, Research and Communications at the Office of the Special Prosecutor, Sammy Darko, says most of these criticisms are sponsored. He also alleges that some journalists are also bribed to unduly criticize the OSP. James Aveji has more in the following report.
The Office of the Special Prosecutor has come under public scrutiny over the period for its inability to successfully prosecute any suspect or any corruption-related case. Now, a good section of Ghanaians believe that with the level of financing and autonomy granted the OSP, he should have been doing more than just investigations. Addressing some of these concerns at the 14th Conference of Heads of Anti-Corruption Bodies here in Accra, the Director of Strategy, Research and Communications of the OSP, Sammy Darko, says that it is not the case that the OSP is not doing much, but some of these criticisms are actually sponsored to smear the office.
And then we also face what we call sponsored attacks and propaganda, where those who are very rich and powerful, when you are investigating them, they tend to be able to offer some monetary incentive to even journalists, and they will consistently be attacking you and spewing counter and false information against your outfit, all in a hope to create that impression that we are all the same, nobody is perfect. Why are you trying to prosecute somebody or investigate somebody as if you are a saint? But the idea is that those of us in the anti-corruption industry are not saints. We're just trying to go by the law.
He indicates that the omission of a certain acts from the setup of the OSP is hindering their work.
When the lawmaker was putting together the Office of the Special Prosecutor Act, they took something very key out of it, which in implementing our law, we've discovered that it shouldn't have been done, which is what we call the Unexplained Wealth Order. It was taken out of the OSP Act, and it's a very problematic matter for us because of the caliber of people we are to investigate. They are more complicated, they have more money, they have more people, they can get the best lawyers and all that. And this is a provision that would have helped us to do lifestyle audits in a better way. Currently, even we are doing a lifestyle audit, the onus lies on us throughout the entire investigation to show to the court how they committed the corruption. But if we have this, we are sure that when we're able to prove that your lawful income does not match your assets, then the burden shifts to you. We don't have that.
One key challenge the three investigative bodies, SHRAJ, IOCO and the OSP, have bemoaned is the lack of domestic collaboration between them to address issues brought before them effectively.
Well, what some people call turf war. That is where maybe there is a particular issue that the two or more agencies have to collaborate. But one agency will think that if I cede my turf to another agency to collaborate or to take part, it is going to make me unpopular or is going to make the head of institution unpopular. There is always a rush or haste to take credit, unwarranted suspicion.
Director of Anti-Corruption at the Commission on Human Rights and Administrative Justice, Stephen Azantilo, says there is the need for change of mindset among Ghanaians and leaders of anti-corruption agencies to help win the fight against corruption.
You can cheat professionals left, right, center. You can put people in jail. You can put all those who are sitting here in jail and bring in new set of people. We still have corruption. So we have started doing what we call changing mindset, and that we are trying to. That's why we want to start with the educational system. We look at starting from the young children who are in school, trying to change their mindset about looking at the whole aspect of life so that we'll see how we can fight corruption.
Participants across the African sub-region who gathered here have agreed that government need to get more committed towards the fight against corruption to win the continent of the canker. From the Kempinski Gold Coast Hotel here in Accra, my name is James Savaji, reporting for Joy News.
Go to the courts now, where the presiding judge trailing the case of Minority Leader Dr. Kasela Toforson for causing financial loss to the state says she does not want the case to travel beyond the end of July. The judge, Justice Ifiasewa Saributri, had earlier imposed a timeline of early May to deliver her judgment, but the deadline has been missed. The judge admonished the parties to deliver as expected of them to conclude the case before the next legal vacation. Legal Affairs correspondent Kweku Asante was in court and has come through with this report.
The High Court in Accra, presided over by Justice Ifiasewa Saributri, has said the trial of Dr. Kasela Toforson should not travel beyond the end of July. Earlier, the court had fixed May 3, 2024 for judgment, but that did not hold following some recent developments. Dr. Kasela Toforson, the current minority leader in parliament, together with Richard Jakpa, a private businessman, are standing trial for allegedly causing financial loss to the Republic in an ambulance deal in the sum of 2.37 million euros. Dr. Sylvester Animana, the second accused, was earlier charged together with the two persons, has now been discharged by the Attorney General's office, which filed a nolle prosequi to discontinue the charges against him. In court today, the court's attention was drawn to the fact that the lawyer for the third accused person, Thaddeus Sori, had filed witness statement for his client, but both lawyers for the state and the minority leader were served on the morning of the case being called again in court. Dr. Kasela Toforson and other accused persons are accused of willfully causing financial loss of 2.37 million euros to the state through a contract to purchase 200 ambulances for the Ministry of Health. The case has now been adjourned to 9th May at 12 noon for the third accused person to continue his evidence in chief. Reporting for Joy News, Kweku Asante, High Court Complex here in Accra.
Still in the High Court, family of an 11-year-old boy allegedly murdered by two teenagers for money ritual say they are disappointed the case was not concluded on Tuesday. The High Court was expected to determine the fate of the two teenagers accused of the murder, but the case has been adjourned to June 24th for closing addresses and the judges summing up before the jury will announce its verdict. Harrison Mensah is a spokesperson for the family.
Well, obviously, we were expecting that the case judgment would be delivered today, but unfortunately, it didn't happen. We are so much disappointed, especially the mother and the father, because it has been a very difficult moment for them, and it has had a very big toll on them, because they want judgment to be delivered so that everybody will have his or her peace of mind to go about their duty. It's been over 3 years now, and we were given the date only to be disappointed today that the case has been adjourned to 24th of June. We only pray and hope that nothing crops up on the 24th and that judgment will be delivered and everybody will have his or her peace of mind to go about his or her normal duties.
And now from my election headquarters, quote, I cannot hand over to someone who isn't pleased by anything I do. He'll just come and destroy everything I've built, unquote. Those were the words of President Akufo-Addo, who has once again said that the best person to succeed him is Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. He said it wouldn't be advisable to vote for someone he defeated in the past election to succeed him after his term of office. He was speaking at Nsawam when he paid a visit to the Blue Skies company.
Biba mi betu no wakonwa no so no a bibia me ye no so enya no fe
I cannot hand over to someone who isn't pleased by anything I do. He will just come and destroy what I've built. So I'm pleading with you to vote for a trustworthy person with whom I've worked for 7 years. He goes by the name Dr. Mahmoud Baumia.
Meanwhile, General Manager of the company, Janet Luthroth, shared with the toll the unstable power supply is having on the company.
On energy, frankly, I don't know whether you saw the generator plants we have on site, but we are a fresh produce chilled factory. So what it means is that the whole factory is a fridge. And so sometimes running the generator when the energy is down is not a joke. But we found ourselves, especially this year, last year was better, I have to say, but especially this year, we are running the generator about 3-4 days a week. What that is doing is that, you know, we buy in diesel to power the generator. And so it's just our diesel cost just rising and rising, and our generator and maintenance costs, because when you power the whole factory, the generator sometimes even struggles to cope. And so for us, the meaning is that can you look into other, you know, renewable energy sources? But we keep looking because the cost is huge for us, because the whole factory producing 40 tons a day is running as a fridge. So there are options we are looking at.
To the education sector, where pre-tertiary teacher unions in the central region have threatened to demonstrate against government over government's refusal to accede to their demands. The teacher unions have been negotiating for the payment of deprived area allowance, book, online and teaching support allowance, extra assessment allowance, upward adjustment of the continuous professional development allowance. Now, Central Regional Secretary of the Ghana National Association of Teachers, Abdullahi Baba Yusuf, says the teachers are fed up.
Since the negotiation for our collective agreement in 2009 and after 2020 collective agreement, the unions have known no peace, owing to the government's continued failure to implement the allowances agreed on, as well as fulfill promises given. The allowances we have been battling over the past 15 years and counting as 17. However, due to several considerations, we have reduced them to 4. These are: 1, the deprived area allowance; 2, extra assessment allowance; 3, book, data, online teaching support allowance; and 4, upward adjustment of the CPD allowance. Despite this gesture of good faith from the unions, the government is still adamant and has demonstrated bad faith. This has often culminated in high-level despondency and dissatisfaction of leadership. We have had to hang on this thin line with our members complaining bitterly. These complaints have been worse, especially as our members are reeling under the utter hardship imposed on us all by the current economic conditions in the country. We wish to emphasize that the last 24 months have been the most tortuous for the Ghanaian teacher. If the government fails to respond positively, we, the grassroots members of the unions at the grassroots, will mobilize ourselves and demonstrate our national leadership to ensure that the right things are done, the teachers' conditions are met as demanded by the teachers. It is not about the national leadership, it is about the teachers at the grassroots. And therefore, if no action is taken after the press conferences, our intention is to mobilize our members at the grassroots to demonstrate nationwide or in this region against leadership and government, so that until government responds to our demands on the table. That is why we said that nobody should take the demands on the table for granted, and we should not take the actions we are taking now for a joke. If you joke with it, you are joking with yourself, because the teachers are not prepared now to back down on these demands. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever.
Solidarity forever. In other news, coordinator for See Something, Say Something, Akosua Danko and Team Secretary, has stated that security is a shared responsibility, urging citizens in the country to be concerned about happenings around them to safeguard the peace the country is enjoying. Speaking at an engagement in Wa with leaders of religious and sectional heads, she said the insecurity in neighboring countries posed a security threat to Ghana and should not be allowed to spill into the country. Joy News Upper West Regional Correspondent Rafiq Salam reports from Wa.
The Upper West region is the 10th out of 16 regions in the country to have been told by National Security Project officers to sensitize the populace on the See Something, Say Something project. Owing to the advent of terrorists, extremists, and jihadist groups in the sub-region, which has destabilized and threatened the peace and security of the countries, resulted in the launch of the See Something, Say Something campaign in Ghana. The campaign, which was launched by the National Security, is to encourage citizens to report suspicious activities or potential threat to national security. It is also to promote community-led intelligence gathering and encourage citizens to play an active role in maintaining national security. At a meeting with leaders of religious and sectional heads that included representatives from Muslims and Christians in the one municipality, coordinator See Something, Say Something, Akosua Danko and Team Secretary stated that security is a shared responsibility and has no political color, urging the people to be more vigilant to safeguard the peace of the country.
I must say that this campaign is apolitical. It has no political colors, it has no tribal leanings, it has no religious leanings. This is national in nature. We have only one Ghana, and therefore we all have to come together as one people and protect our security, or ensure that our security is not compromised. If we don't do that as a people and allow other people, based on their selfish interests, allow our security to be compromised, how can we go about our normal duty to go elsewhere? Economically, they are suffering. When it comes socially, education-wise, everything has come to a standstill. We can't afford to go down that line.
Two members of the team, Costa Ofe and Anwar Jacob, fell through insight on the project and what they expect from the citizenry.
We should be able to give details. Okay, that person who came to kidnap, that person who came to kill, how does he look like? Most of the time, when they commit these crimes, they abscond or they run away. So we should be able to help gather some specific features of that person to help the authorities, because you were the key witness. If you who saw the thing cannot give a description, how can the police or authorities, get wind of that person?
Some of us here are also landlords, or we stay in compound houses. Please take notice of those you stay with. The law is very clear. If you give your house to somebody that you don't know, and the person uses your facility to commit crimes, that your facility, that your house will become a subject of investigation.
One mayor, Isaku Tire Moment, commended the leadership of the various religious groups in the region for the camaraderie that existed between them, which has contributed to relative peace the region is enjoying.
That we should continue to tolerate one another, close our ranks, and then make sure that there are no cracks within us, said that outsiders will take advantage of that and come in to do something that we ourselves or you yourself have not endorsed. So once we close our ranks and tolerate one another and then leave ourselves within the tenets of the faith that we are practicing, I'm sure nobody will get the advantage to come in.
The National Security Project officers earlier visited the overlord of the Wara traditional area, now for City Pilipo the 4th, and the Tindambes for similar engagements. Reporting for Joy News, Rafiq Salam, Wow.
Moving on, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Regional Integration says it has revived its long-term program of promoting made-in-Ghana goods and services. After coming to a temporary halt over the past 3 years, the third edition of the Made-in-Ghana Bazaar promises to create a platform to build strong relationships between Ghana's local industries and the well-established markets of our foreign partners abroad through the use of Ghana's diplomatic missions and network. Minister for Foreign Affairs and Regional Integration, Shirley Ayoko-Butchie, at the media launch of the Bazaar re-echoed the need to patronize made-in-Ghana goods and services while improving on the production, processing, packaging and distribution chain.
Thankfully, the third edition of the Made-in-Ghana Bazaar is coming off at the Accra International Conference Center from the 23rd to 25th of May under the theme, Promoting Made-in-Ghana Goods and Services for Economic Prosperity. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I wish to emphasize that the overarching objective of the Bazaar is to use the network of our diplomatic missions abroad and diplomatic missions accredited to the Republic of Ghana to facilitate the penetration of Ghanaian products and services into foreign markets. The Bazaar also creates a needed platform to build strong relationships between Ghana's local industries and the well-established markets of our foreign partners abroad. It also aims to re-echo the need to patronize made-in-Ghana goods and services while improving on the production, processing, packaging, and distribution chain. The third edition of the Bazaar would provide exhibitors with an opportunity to showcase a wide range of innovative products and services, as well as to establish contacts with strategic partners, exchange experiences, explore business opportunities, and to consolidate relationships with new and existing customers. The timing of this event is auspicious because of the dynamics of today's international system. This has prompted the need for governments to focus more on economic diplomacy by forging partnerships and strengthening economic ties to boost their.
For final story, with less than a month to the commencement of this year's Hajj pilgrimage in Saudi Arabia, Chairman of Ghana's Hajj Board, Ben Abdullah Banda, has indicated that all necessary arrangements for the successful airlifting of pilgrims to and from Saudi Arabia has been made to the Hajj Board. He made this known in an interview with my colleague Anas Sabit, who has more in the following report.
Each year, millions of Muslim men, women and children converge in Mecca to perform what is known as the Hajj pilgrimage, a transformative religious experience particularly for those embarking on the pilgrimage for the first time. With the religion of Islam built on some 5 pillars, which includes the Shahada, the Salah, the Zakat, fasting in the month of Ramadan and the Hajj pilgrimage, Muslims see this journey as one of the most important exercises in the Islamic faith. Sheikh Mansour Anas, an imam at the Aswad Central Mosque in Tichman, tells us more.
When we said Hajj, it is a journey of a faith. Hajj is the pilgrimage that one embark on it once in his lifetime, from wherever a person is to Mecca, it's at the heart of Saudi Arabia, to go and then perform that at a place called Kaaba, or around a place called Kaaba. That is Hajj. And it is very, very important when it comes to Islam, because Hajj is one of the pillars of Islam.
Sheikh Mansour Anas, who was part of the Ulama committee who observed the 2023 Hajj pilgrimage, said despite the relevance of this journey, it is only made compulsory upon those who are financially capable.
Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is clean, and he does not accept anything but the clean one. And Hajj, as we said, it is not compulsory upon every Muslim. It's only compulsory on one who is able. That's what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said. Walillahi ala nas hijjul bayt man istata'a ilayhi sabila. That Allah has made it compulsory for the one who is able. So if you don't have the means, it is not compulsory on you. So you don't have to force yourself to borrow or cheat or otherwise. Don't do anything. Just make sure that you have the means. You can embark on it and come and continue your business.
Chairman of Ghana's Hajj Board, who doubles as the presidential coordinator for the Zongo Development Fund, Ben Abdallah Banda, says with regards to arrangements made by the board both locally and in Saudi Arabia, the board has put in place mechanisms to make this year's Hajj one of the best in recent years.
I would say in a nutshell that so far the preparations have been good. We are on course. Everything is under control. We have finished with our airline because we signed the contract with them. We've signed our contract with accommodation in Makkah and Medina. We've done with our transport company. We've also done with the Mina. We secured Mina. We've also secured Arafah. So these are the key components that constitute the whole spectrum of the Hajj activities.
However, emphasized that the establishment of the Hajj Board is to ensure that pilgrims are provided with the best of treatments throughout their journey to and from Mecca. Anna Sabit, Joy News, Accra.
That's how we're wrapping up for the AM News on the AM Show. Stay with us for the news review coming up next.